Days Gone sucks is a comment I see thrown around more and more these days. And at first, yeah, it sort of makes sense. But Days Gone was released to a sea of not so good reviews. It was called boring, repetitive, and even broken. But is that really the full story? Why did a game with so much potential become one of the most strangely hated titles of its generation? Was Days Gone fairly judged? Today, we explore the enigma behind one of the most underrated and misunderstood PlayStation exclusives ever made. Days Gone was launched in April 2019 and was met with mixed reviews, to say the least. But why was this criticized so heavily? Yes, I know, it had a buggy launch like many modern games. Days Gone launched with a number of technical issues. But the thing is, many of these issues were patched post-launch, yet its reputation never really recovered. If other games like Cyberpunk 2077 and No Man's Skies could bounce back, why didn't Days Gone ever recover? Maybe it was the fact that it was constantly compared to The Last of Us and Red Dead Redemption 2, but was it really fair to compare it to games with much larger budgets and development teams? Say what you want about Days Gone, but Days Gone offered a lot of unique experiences that could never be matched. It gave us a unique setting and atmosphere, the dynamic weather, day and night cycle, and vibrant open world created a hauntingly realistic environment. Innovative gameplay with the bike mechanic. Deacon's motorcycle wasn't just a vehicle, it was your lifeline. Managing fuel, repairs, and upgrades added a layer of survival strategy that the other open world games just lacked. Let's not even forget about Freako Hordes. The Freako Hordes were revolutionary. Hundreds of enemies moving with terrifying speed. This encounters were so heart-pounding. I tried to beat this game without running into them. Look, my heart couldn't just take the pressure. Don't roast me in the comment section. Days Gone had an underappreciated story and character lineup. The protagonist, Deacon St. John, was flawed yet compelling. A man dealing with loss, loyalty, and survival. His emotional journey was more complicated than critics gave it credit for. This was a story about brotherhood, hope, and cause. At its core, Days Gone wasn't just another zombie game. Despite the bad reviews, Days Gone managed to find a passionate fan base. It sold well over 9 million copies and continues to attract new players on PC and PlayStation Plus. So why did Sony refuse to greenlight a sequel? Despite selling over 9 million copies, it was labeled a disappointment by Sony. In contrast, other franchises got sequels with lower sales numbers. Was this a case of unfair expectations? This hasn't stopped Days Gone from going on to becoming a cult classic, and over time, more players are discovering this game and appreciating its depth. Just like The Order, 1886, and Sleeping Dogs, Days Gone could be remembered as a misunderstood gem. So is Days Gone perfect? No. But does it deserve the hate it received? Absolutely not. Days Gone was ambitious, atmospheric, and an emotional game that dared to be different in an industry that often plays it safe. If you haven't played it yet, maybe it's time to give it another chance. Who knows? You just might fall in love with Deacon's journey for a beautiful yet broken world. Maybe, just maybe, Days Gone was way ahead of its time.